All right, we're live. Welcome in, welcome in. I am a man of my word. Uh, you guys hit the like goal on the last live stream last night, so we're doing a double live stream. I was gonna do it last night, but I got home way too late from making deliveries. It was like basically almost like 5 a.m. Eastern time. So I didn't think any of you guys would still be up at that time. So I just figured I would do one basically when I woke up before kickoff here. So yeah, we'll see if anyone hops in here. Definitely drop your last minute start sit decisions in the live chat, and I will help you guys finalize your lineups for week 12 here. I was just finalizing some of my lineups. Um, had a few tricky decisions. Like one player I was thinking about a bit was Harold Fannin in terms of whether to start him with Shador Sanders, who was pretty bad last week. I'll pull up Sanders' stat line, but definitely makes me a little nervous about starting any Browns pass catchers. Um, so, I mean, all these decisions with Fannin were in tight end premium leagues. So that helps a little bit, but still pretty nervous about starting Fannin. So in one league, I temporarily put Brenton Strange in for him, who's back from IR today. He doesn't play till 4, though. He's still listed as questionable. So if he ends up being out, I would have to stick in like Darnell Mooney or Colby Parkinson or someone like that. So I don't know. That doesn't feel too amazing, but I think Strange is expected to play. I mean, I haven't heard otherwise, so I don't know. But yeah, drop your tough decisions in the chat here. Um, Another tough decision I was thinking about was Chase Brown versus Emeka Ibuka. That's in a full PPR league. Um, I had Ibuka in all week, but I changed it to Chase Brown just now. I feel like Chase Brown's been so consistent. I feel like it's tough to leave him out of a starting lineup. The matchup isn't amazing against the Patriots, but you guys know I don't care too much about matchups. I'm just starting to have a little bit of a bad gut feeling about the Bucks at the LA Rams this week. We were talking in the stream last night about like Baker Mayfield versus some of the other quarterbacks, including Lamar Jackson, who I'm also a little nervous about because I'm not sure he's fully healthy. But as I've thought more about that Rams Bucks game, I just don't have an amazing feeling about Baker Mayfield. Another switch I made recently is because I believe we talked about this on the stream last night. It was Baker versus Jacoby Brissett. And I said on stream last night that I prefer Brissett over Baker. And then after the stream, I realized that I actually had that exact decision in a dynasty league, but I had Baker Mayfield in there. So I ended up making the switch. So yeah, I am, you know, what am I trying to say here? Putting my money where my mouth is. So I said Brissett over Baker. So that's what I'm doing. Because honestly, I feel like Brissett's just a better start this week. Just my gut feeling there. Hey, we have Jacob in the chat. Welcome, Jacob. And you say, my quarterback in my main one quarterback redraft is Tyrod or Shuck this week. Do I just add Shador and start him for YOLO purposes? It's already so bad, anyways. Nah, I'm not starting Shador Sanders for YOLO purposes or otherwise. I mean, I'll pull up his stat line. I mean, I was just talking about him a moment ago, but I mean, I didn't watch him play, but the stat line is so brutal that I kind of feel like that probably tells me most of what I need to know here. Um, yeah, I'm pulling up his game log right here. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good matchup too. I mean, he was at home against the Ravens. He went 4 of 16. Woof. I mean, my God, 47 passing yards. I mean, he didn't play a full game. So, I mean, let's be clear about that. I mean, he played 51% of snaps, but still, I mean, he played half the game. I mean, multiply that by 2. So that's a full game pace of 8 of 24 for what would that be? 94 passing yards. no touchdowns, and he had an interception in the game. So if you double that for a full game pace, I guess that'd be no touchdowns, two interceptions, and then he had 3 rushes for 16 yards, which I guess would be a full game pace of 6 carries for 32 yards. So it was pretty brutal. I mean, he scored not even a point and a half. So multiply that by two, less than 3 fantasy points. So no, I'm definitely not starting Shador Sanders. Um, I would start Tyrod. I really don't think Tyrod's that bad this week. But who does Shuck play? The Saints play. Oh, they play the Falcons. That's not a great matchup, although Bryce Young just went nuts on them. I'm going Tyrod there. I mean, I think Tyrod will be fine. It's a pretty good matchup against the Ravens. Tyrod can run the ball a little bit. Jacob, I don't know if your league is 4 points or 6 points for passing touchdowns, but I mean, if it's 4 points, then I think it's an easy decision to play Tyrod. If it's 6 point, honestly, I'm still playing Tyrod. So I would go Tyrod either way there. Um, as weird as it sounds, I mean, that's a pretty easy decision for me. I don't trust Shador Sanders whatsoever. And Tyler Shuck, I mean, I think he was better than people expected, but that's not saying a whole heck of a lot. I mean, I'll pull up his game log. Okay. Shuck threw for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. So hey, I mean, yeah, that's even better than I thought it would be. Looks like in 6 point passing touchdowns, he put up like 26 fantasy points. So I guess Shuck is viable. Again, not a great matchup, but you never really know with the Falcons. They kind of sometimes they just like no show as a team. So yeah, if you had a strong gut feeling about Shuck, I wouldn't hate it, but I'm probably just going Tyrod. And then we have Easy Aquilaruz. I'm sure I'm saying that completely wrong. In the chat, welcome. And he says Flex Mooney or Zach Charbonnet full PPR. Yeah, I mean, I really don't want to start Mooney unless I'm really, really desperate. I mean, Charbonnet doesn't feel amazing either. The Titans have been pretty bad against the run this year, though they were a bit better last week. I don't know if that's a sign of things to come or not. I also do see things trending more and more into a Kenneth Walker direction, just based on what we saw last week, what we also heard the Seahawks coaches say, and this week since their last game. I do feel like things are starting to trend more toward Kenneth Walker, but I mean, I still expect Zach Charbonnet to get some touches. So yeah, I don't have like a strong feeling about that, but I'm probably just starting Charbonnet because he's just been better than Mooney. So I feel like I have to see something from Mooney before I remotely trust him. So I would go Charbonnet there. I think he's just been better this year. So I would just start your best player there, and it's a solid matchup as well. But yeah, thanks for the question. And then Jacob says, okay, here's another one. In a super flex dynasty, I have 2 flexes and a super flex to fill. I have Ibuka, Smitty, Pickens, and Tyrod. Currently, I have all 3 wide receivers starting, including at super flex. Should I start Tyrod instead? Well, I mean, you have to start Smitty, and then let's see, who does Pickens play? Pickens plays the Eagles. Yeah, I mean, Pickens is coming off a really big game. He's been great all season. Yeah, and then I mean, Ibuka's been awesome on the season. A bit quiet as of late, aside from like one spike week. But outside of that, he's been kind of underwhelming. I was just saying I don't feel like amazing about Baker Mayfield and the Bucks passing offense in this game. But I mean, it is tough to bench Ibuka. Jacob, is it 4 points or 6 points for passing touchdowns in this league? Because I don't know. I'm trying to think. If it was 4 point, I mean, typically Tyrod's better in 4 point, but at the same time, then your quarterback scoring less. So would that lead me to lean toward Ibuka over Tyrod? I'm not even sure, but let me know if it's 4 points or 6 points. That'd probably help me make the decision there a bit. But I guess just like generally speaking, Ibuka or Tyrod. I'll probably lean toward the quarterback there. Gosh, I don't know. You know what? I mean, something I believe pretty strongly in is avoid making last minute lineup decisions. I feel like those typically don't go well. unless you have like a really strong reason to make the change. So definitely not saying you can't do them, but a lot of times I feel like it's just sort of they're just sort of done based on anxiety, and then you end up going away from what your gut instinct initially told you, and then it usually doesn't work out well. So if you have the three receivers in there, I would probably just keep them in there because it's close enough. I do think Abuka is still pretty much like damn near a must start. So I don't feel strongly enough to tell you to make a last minute lineup decision. I just feel like that would probably backfire somehow. But I would start Tyrod Taylor in the other league that you asked me about. So, at least you'll kind of have exposure to each player. So I kind of feel like that's probably the best decision there. I don't know if I feel strongly enough about Tyrod to say, hey, start him in both leagues. So I would start him in the other league, and then I would play Abuka in this league. But yeah, thanks for the question. We got Jay up in the chat. Welcome. He says, start Jawan Johnson or Colston Loveland. Yeah, I think we was it you that asked this question yesterday in the chat? We definitely had that question. I feel like it was probably from you. But either way, I think I feel the same way I did last night. I think Jawan Johnson has just been better on the season. So I feel like that's probably the right answer. I really don't care about, oh, the Falcons have been tough against tight ends or whatever. Really doesn't matter to me. I mean, honestly, if the Falcons have been good against tight ends, it might just be because they haven't faced a lot of good tight ends. I mean, you could look at the Falcons' schedule this year and see if they've even have faced any good ones. If they haven't, then what does it even matter if they've been, good against tight ends, whatever, quote unquote. But I mean, let me know if you're the favorite in your matchup or you're the underdog. Because I mean, if you're the underdog, I mean, you could definitely talk me into Colston Loveland. I feel like the Steelers are always bad against tight ends, but I mean, Loveland just hasn't been that good on the season. He had like the one big spike week, and that's all. That's about all we've seen from him. So you really kind of have to take a leap of faith and tell yourself a story on Colston Loveland. You really have to do some projecting. But I mean, if we're asking what tight end has been better this season, I mean, it's Jawan Johnson by far, and I really don't care that much about tight end matchups. I mean, Jawan Johnson really doesn't have much target competition. It's just Chris Olave, and Chuck played a good game, threw for almost 300 yards. So I think you got to feel pretty good about Jawan Johnson. I think he's just a guy you can just like leave in your tight end slot and just kind of set it and forget it. So if you have a strong feeling about Loveland, like go for it. And again, if you're a big underdog, swing for the upside, throw Loveland in there. But I think Jawan Johnson is just higher floor and safer bet there. Hey, we've got Seb here. Good to see you. You ask start two / bench. 1 DK / David Montgomery / Jawan Jennings. Okay, so let's answer that one first. Okay, so you got 3 players there. Okay, so you got to start 2 and bench 1. Gotcha. I mean, I feel like you got to start David Montgomery. It's just such an incredible matchup against the Giants. Montgomery's at home. I feel like he's due for a big game. So I'm starting Montgomery. And then, I mean, Jawan Jennings, I think, should be pretty solid. I mean, he's been good, like 3 weeks in a row here. And then DK Metcalf, the Steelers play the Bears. I mean, DK Metcalf's been pretty brutal lately. I'll pull up his game log here just to kind of refresh my memory on exactly what he's been doing lately. But I think I'm leaning Jawan Jennings there. Yeah, DK Metcalf's just been giving you nothing lately. I mean, it's a good matchup at Chicago, but I really don't trust him. So I don't know. I mean, you could say it's close enough between DK and Jennings that maybe just leave in whoever you have in there right now. I like to avoid making those last minute changes. So I would say just go with your initial instinct of, which player you put in there initially. So if that's DK right now, I might just leave it. But if you're just asking me in a vacuum which one I like better, I just feel like Jennings has a higher floor and is a safer bet. Thanks for the question. And then, you got another one. You say, and then quarterback wise, JJ McCarthy / Shedeur Sanders / Tyrod Taylor. Gosh, I mean, JJ McCarthy is pretty tough to trust. They play the Packers, not an amazing matchup. Not playing Shedeur Sanders. Tyrod Taylor's got a pretty good match against the Ravens. So yeah, it's definitely between Tyrod and JJ McCarthy. I'm probably going Tyrod Taylor there. regardless of whether it's 4 point or 6 point for passing touchdowns. So yeah, I'd go Tyrod. I mean, I think Tyrod's just pretty solid, by streaming quarterback standards. He can run the ball a bit. He'll probably get you a couple touchdowns one way or another, through the air and or on the ground. So I'd personally go Tyrod there. And then Jacob says, "Oh, it's 4 point passing touchdown, and that one above, by the way." Okay, so yeah, that's the one where you're deciding between Abuka and Tyrod. Yeah, so I feel like that only leads me to more say Abuka, which sounds weird because you would think, oh, if it's 4 point for passing touchdown, a rushing quarterback would have more value, which is true, but only if you're comparing that quarterback to other quarterbacks. But if you're comparing them to like a running back or receiver, I feel like that would just bring the running back or receiver, closer to the quarterback, if that makes sense. I feel like that would be a bit of a boost to the running back or receiver if you're comparing them to a quarterback. It would make the gap tighter. So, normally in a super flex, I mean, you typically want to start a quarterback, but if it's only 4 point for passing touchdown, I think you can make a stronger case for a running back or receiver, or heck, maybe even a tight end if you have a really good tight end. So yeah, if you had Ibuka in there and it's only 4 point for passing touchdown, I'd probably just leave Ibuka in there. But I would start Tyrod Taylor in that other league that you asked me about. But yeah, thanks for clarifying that about the scoring there. And then JF says start Chase Brown or Adunze. Ooh, that's a tough one. Yeah, I mean, I was just saying I had a tough decision between Chase Brown and Ibuka, and I ended up making the switch to Chase Brown. But man, Chase Brown or Adunze, I mean, I think it's tough to bench either of those guys. I mean, I feel like we can use the matchup as a tiebreaker there because I think they're both really good starts. Chase Brown doesn't have a great matchup, so again, I'm not afraid to start Chase Brown. I mean, I think for most people, Chase Brown's a guy that you probably just want to leave in your starting lineup and not really worry about the matchup or anything. So I definitely wouldn't be scared to start Chase Brown, but I mean, Odunze's been a little up and down, inconsistent, but I was just looking at his game log during the stream last night, and the thing I noticed about Odunze is that he always seems to smash in the good matchups, or at least if you look at like all of his big spike weeks this year, they're all in good matchups. So I feel like he does well in the good matchups. I mean, that's what the history has shown us this season anyway. So that really is a nice matchup for Odunze against the Steelers. So I'd probably use the matchup as the tiebreaker there. That's really how I use matchups. So I'd lean toward Adunze there, but that's really close enough that if you have a strong gut feeling, I would say just go with that. Or I mean, if you had Chase Brown in there, you know, maybe just leave it. Again, like those last minute line of decisions often backfire. But if you're just asking me which one I like better, I think it's Odunze by the hair, just because of that much better matchup. But I do think Chase Brown has a pretty high floor with like the targets. I mean, in the last 2 weeks playing with Flacco, I mean, he's had 14 targets and then I think 8 targets last week. So he does give you a pretty high floor. So even if Chase Brown struggles a little against the Patriots run defense, which is pretty good, he should still give you a pretty high floor with the pass volume he gets, all the targets. So definitely a good question there. I'd lean Dunze, but I'd say maybe just stick with what you have or go with your gut feeling there. And yeah, Jacob says thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. Let me know if you have any other last minute questions here. We still got about 12 minutes to kick off. I'll pretty much just stay on here till kickoff because I mean, I pretty much set all of my starting lineups before I went live here. So I'm pretty much good. So I can stay till kickoff. And then hey, we got Nahal in here. Welcome. You say start two, AJ Brown, Adunze, Travion Henderson. Ooh, that's a good one. I feel like you have to go AJ Brown against the Cowboys. I mean, AJ Brown has definitely not been great this year, but I mean they were really force feeding him the ball this past week. He had 8 targets in the first half, ended the game with 11, and that was in a really windy game where it was tough to pass. So I mean, it's a dream match against the Cowboys. I feel like you got to go AJ Brown. Oh, man, but God, I mean, it's such good options there. I mean, man, Odunze in a great matchup. And then you have Travion Henderson. Wait, why am I suddenly blanking? The Patriots are playing the Bengals. Okay, you got to play Travion Henderson. So, man, I guess it's between A.J. Brown and Odunze. That's a really, really tough one. Oh man, I mean, I was just talking about how good Odunze is against the good matchups this year. I mean, he really comes through in the good matchups. So, man, I really don't think you can go too wrong there. Gosh, that really is a tough one to haul. I mean, I might just say whoever you have in there now, I'd probably just leave it. As long as one of those players is Travion. I feel like you got to start Travion Henderson, even with Ramondre back. I mean, Travion's just been too good lately. I feel like the upside's just too massive there. But oh man, that is such a tough one. You guys give me the toughest questions here. Uh, God, I'm just trying to think like, what would I do? Like, if this was my team, my lineup, real money on the line, gun to my head, like, what am I doing here? I am, I'm probably going Travion, and I feel like Odunze has probably just been better than AJ Brown. So man, I mean, it's hard to imagine starting AJ Brown in a matchup as good as the Cowboys, but I mean, I probably just want to start my best players, and that's probably Odunze on the season and Travion Henderson with how hot he's been lately. So if you're just starting your best players, it's probably Travion and Odunze. So man, I hate to bench AJ Brown, but God, that is such a tough one. I mean, you could look at the weather. I mean, I don't know if there's weather in either. It's the game in Chicago. I feel like wherever the Bears game is versus wherever the heck the Eagles game is. I think it's in Philadelphia. So you could check weather. Maybe use that as a tiebreaker between those two receivers. Usually don't put too much stock in weather, but I know it becomes a little bit more of a factor here as we get further into the season and weather gets colder and worse. So that is such a tough one. I guess I'm leaning Travion and Odunze, but that is so hard. And then we got Frank Nunez. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. You say what's cracking? Need to Brees Hall, Judkins, Chase Brown. I mean, I'm a little nervous about Judkins with Shador Sanders in there. I'm probably going Chase Brown and let's see, Brees Hall. Who the heck did the Jets play? I'm blanking on that all of a sudden. Oh, wait, the Jets play the Ravens. That's a pretty good matchup. Yeah, I think I'd go Brees Hall and Chase Brown there. I would bench Judkins. Judkins hasn't been that great lately, and now you got Shador Sanders in there. I would just avoid the Browns if I can. Um, yeah, I mean, even like I was talking about Harold Fannin earlier. Like I have 3 shares of Fannin. I'm benching 2 of them, and I don't even feel great about the 1 share I'm starting. So I think I'm just benching most of my Browns if I can. And then we have J Dabs. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome, good to see you. You say, "How we doing, man? Best of luck today." Hey, appreciate that. Doing well. Just trying to help you guys with these last minute lineup decisions. Yeah, but yeah, good to see you. Let me know. Okay, you got a question here. You say sit one, full PPR, Judkins, Travis Etienne, Jalen Warren. Let me see what the status of Jalen Warren is because I believe he got banged up in the last game, and then I know Kenneth Gainwell did pretty good. So let me make sure that Jalen Warren is healthy. Okay, it looks like he's off the injury report. I mean, I don't know. Is Kenneth Gainwell going to have a bit of a role just with how well he's been playing? Jalen Warren has kind of cooled down a little bit the past couple of weeks. Looks like his fantasy points are 11 and just under 9. I mean, I do feel like Jalen Warren has looked good this year. Just anytime I've watched him to the eye, he looks like the old Jalen Warren. Looks really spry and explosive, and it's at Chicago. I mean, that's a pretty solid matchup. So you only have to sit one of these guys, right? Wait, let's see. Okay, yeah, you say sit one in the full PPR. Judkins, ETN, Jalen Warren. I'm probably benching Judkins. I mean, who does ETN play? Okay, he's home against the Cardinals, I believe. That's a pretty solid matchup. I mean, we did start Tootin, start to earn a share of the backfield, but I mean, ETN still had a good game. I mean, partially because Tootin got banged up, but we don't know for sure if that was the only reason. And ETN has been really solid on the season. I'd probably go ETN and Warren there. So yeah, but just when in doubt, I'm just going to bench my Browns this week. Thanks for the question. Nahal says start one: Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, or AJ Brown. Oh man, another tough one. I mean, it's tough to bench. My God, how do you bench any of those guys? I mean, good Lord. I mean, Nahal, like I don't think you can go wrong here. I mean, like I think you're going to win your matchup regardless. I mean, if these are your options that if you got to bench two of these guys, like I think you're going to win anyways. You must have a pretty loaded starting lineup there. But yeah, gun to my head, what am I doing there? I mean, Adams against the Bucks seems like a pretty good matchup. I mean, Diggs against the Bengals is a good matchup, and then AJ Brown against the Cowboys is a dream matchup. So, which of these guys has been best on the season? It's probably Devonte Adams. I know he's coming off not that great of a game. Would he have like one catch for 1 yard and a touchdown? So I'm not sure like why he had such a dud there. I'm assuming the Rams are probably up in that game, if I'm not mistaken. So that was probably part of it. I mean, that could happen again against the Bucks. I don't have a great feeling about the Bucks this week. I mean, Diggs has been hot lately, and it's a great matchup. That is such a tough one. I mean, if you have any kind of gut feeling, I'd go with it. Maybe just stick with what you have. I mean, I'd hate to make a last minute lineup change with it being that close between those three guys. But gun to my head in a vacuum, I'd probably go Adams. I just feel like he's been the best on the season, and it's a good matchup. So there's really probably no reason to go away from Adams. Uh, and I'm assuming this is a full PPR, but yeah, that's a really really tough one. I don't think you go wrong with any of those three receivers. I think they're all going to be good this week. So go with your gut there, but I'm just going to start my best player, which is probably Adams on the season. But yeah, great question. I mean, you guys really give me some good ones here. And then Hall also says I have AJ Brown and Rome in there right now. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so really it's like start two between Adams, Diggs, AJ Brown, and Rome. Then it sounds like. So knowing that, I mean, yeah, I mean Rome's another guy he's been good this year. He's got a great matchup. So man, I mean, all four of those receivers should be good there. I mean, I hate to give you the cop out answer. If you have AJ Brown and Rome in there, I don't know if I feel strongly enough to like steer you away from that. Um, I mean, I think your gut instinct told you AJ Brown and Rome, so I'd probably just leave that in there. I don't feel strongly enough to say, hey, you got to like change your lineup at 12:56 p.m. 4 minutes before kickoff of these first games here. I would probably just leave it in a vacuum. I'd probably go, I don't know, maybe Adams and a Dunze. I feel like those would probably have been the two best on the season, but I'd probably just leave what you have in there. But I don't think you can go wrong. I really don't think you can screw up that decision. I think all four of those receivers are going to be good this week. So I really don't think you can mess it up. I really wouldn't sweat it too much. And then Hall says Brees Hall or Judkins. I'd go Brees Hall there. And then let's see, we got, Todd's Real Lawn. Welcome. You say Tootin or Yosavas. That's actually an interesting question. I think I'd go Tootin there. I'm assuming full PPR. I do think Yosavas is a really sneaky streamer, though. Good matchup against the Bengals. No Jamar Chase. But I'm going Tootin there. I just feel like he gives you more upside. But that's an interesting question, though. And then Frank Nunez says Goff, Brees Hall, Chase Brown, Woody Marks, who's already played, JSN, JMO, Bowers, Seahawks defense, Fairbairn today. What do you think? Looks like a pretty good lineup to me. Yeah, I mean, I like all those guys that starts this week. Yeah, that looks like a good lineup to me. So yeah, I think you should be good there. Noel says, nah, I started AJ Brown in Rome instead of Travion in the other league. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be crazy about benching Travion Henderson. He's just been so hot. I don't know. I'm not going to worry too much about Ramondre, although I understand the concern. So yeah, I'm not sure what point you're getting at there. But yeah, maybe clarify that comment. But yeah, if there's any last minute questions I can answer here, let me know. Kicking off in about 2 minutes here, but you guys could have also have some decisions that don't need to be made until like the 4 p.m. games or the game tonight or even the Monday night game. So I could even stay on here like a few minutes after kickoff here of these 1:00 games. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any last minute questions, but hope I was able to help you. Definitely drop a like on the way out. Would greatly appreciate it. Really helps the channel grow and, helps the algorithm, helps push the stream out to new viewers and all that. And yeah, for anyone new here, definitely make sure you're subscribed. We typically stream Wednesday night and Saturday night, and every once in a while we'll do a Sunday morning stream like I'm doing right now, or I guess technically it's the afternoon. Um, but yeah, we cover a lot of dynasty content on here, but also plenty of redraft, especially in season, of course. So yeah, make sure you're subbed, and I'll probably sign off here. I don't see any more questions, and we are just about to kick off. So great to have everyone here. And yeah, like I said, oh yeah, in addition, join the shoot. I was going to say the Patreon. We don't have a Patreon yet. Join the Discord. I will put the link in the description. So yeah, join the Discord. We're building a nice little community over there. And yeah, also if you guys have any other last minute start sit questions for the other games, you can always drop them in the Discord. So I will put the link in there right now. And yeah, Frank Nunes says, appreciate you. Peace out. Yeah, my pleasure. Happy to help. Yeah, good luck, everyone. Best of luck with your fantasy teams this week. And join the Discord if you have any other questions. And I will see you guys again soon. Peace out.